Blessings, everybody. Welcome. I've been receiving a lot of messages about the Divine Feminine ever since coming back from Egypt. And I know I've said in a previous video that I will be sharing about my Egypt trip. There's just so much to share that I don't know where to begin. So I've been feeling and I've been receiving a lot from the priestesses of Egypt, and there were many. There were many serving different temples, serving different gods and goddesses, and even way before the trip to Egypt, I have been connecting with Isis, Goddess Isis or Goddess Aset, and it's just become very clear over the last few weeks and being in Egypt, receiving the codes of Egypt, receiving the energies of Egypt and the activations that I remembered this lifetime as a priestess in ancient Egypt, and I was teaching in a mystery school. That lifetime was actually a post-Atlantean lifetime, and a lot of Atlanteans actually went to Egypt and shared knowledge with the ancient Egyptians. What I received was that the ancient Egyptians were actually already very, very advanced. They already knew a lot of things. They know about energy. They know how to shape energy. They know how to direct energy. And so when the Atlanteans, at least from my memory, when the Atlanteans went to ancient Egypt, we weren't really like what's depicted on the walls of a lot of temples as gods, and the gods descended from the sky and came to bring about these advanced technologies. There's some truth to it, but there is an exchange that was going on when the Atlanteans went to ancient Egypt, and it was a very beautiful exchange of energy, knowledge. So the vision in the lifetime that I saw very clearly was actually me with a group of women, and we were actually under the Great Pyramid. And there's not a lot that's being shared about what's beneath. A lot of things have not even been uncovered yet, and what we see now is just such a small percentage of what it really is. I don't exactly know, but the feeling that I got when I was there and when I received the energies, it was very, very different. And I knew that there is so much more underground than what is being shared with us and what is being shown to us and where we can visit. So I saw myself with a group of women, and I've had multiple visions of this, not just in Egypt, but also in Atlantis, I believe. I had a dream once that I was sitting in a circle with a group of women, and we were all wearing white. We were all closing our eyes, kind of meditating, but not really. We were focusing our consciousness and our attention and energy on something. And it was in a glass-like dome, and I remembered that we were surrounded by water. So we were not on land, we were under water, whatever that is. And then in Egypt, again with a group of women under the Great Pyramid, and the message to me was priestesshood, mystery school. And further along the journey, I then kind of understood what this meant and the interrelatedness of ancient Egypt and Atlantis, and that I was part of the Atlantean beings that went there and shared our knowledge with the ancient Egyptians. And this priestesshood is very connected to Goddess Isis. And she came to me multiple times in the trip and even after the trip and told me that I will be leading a group of 9 women, 9 including me, to Egypt, and this will be a reactivation of the divine feminine. This will be the liberation of the suppressed energy of the feminine. And then just a couple of days ago, I was in meditation and Cleopatra actually came to me. I didn't know who she was. What I did see was a very distinct looking fringe that was like here. Then it morphed into sort of the ancient Egyptian face, like the pharaohs, how they are depicted. And I was very confused, so I didn't know. I didn't receive any messages until I came out of meditation and I searched up Cleopatra on Google because I thought I was making all of this up. And I then saw exactly what I saw in my vision, and I was pretty shocked. And I talked to a couple of people, and the message was again about the divine feminine. And there was a particular temple that we went to in Egypt where Queen Hatshepsut, which is actually one of a very important female ruler in ancient Egypt. We went to that temple and our guide told us that this is a very important temple. He didn't explain much, but he said it's important. And only when I went in did I realize why he said it's important. He might or might not know what the significance is for the group that was there. So my friend actually led this first group that I was in, and it was again 9 divine feminine. And what we saw on the walls were actually faces of Queen Hatshepsut being scratched away, being basically damaged. And what he said to us was that, you know, the kings in that time didn't want to acknowledge that she was a very important ruler because she was a lady. And, you know, I just felt so much when I was there. And coming back, then integrating all of the information, it just makes a lot of sense. You know, the connection with this priestesshood and this mystery school that I was once in that lifetime. I came back to assist in the reactivation and liberation of the suppressed feminine energies, which is a lot. Yeah, that's a little bit of a background of Egypt. So I will make a video to share a little bit more about the entire trip and also more information about this trip that I will guide that is coming up in March of 2025. At least that is the information that has been given to me by Goddess Isis very, very, very strongly and very clearly. And there were so many signs and still so many signs and confirmation. So I'm just waiting for some puzzle pieces to fall into place before I can share the full details of when exactly it's happening and the price of it for this expedition. She told me that we're going, even though the timeline and the runway looks a little bit short, but she told me that we're going, and this is happening, and the Divine Nine has been pre-planned way before, and that everything is happening in divine timing. So I'm releasing my human mind to all of this, and I'm sure that if it's meant to happen, it will happen, and it will be a very, very important, beautiful, significant trip for the 9. So with that being said, I feel like there are some messages that wants to come through from the priestesses. The presence of Goddess Isis, Goddess Set is here. And every time I see her, she shows me herself walking out of the background of a fire. Everything behind her is burning, but she emerges from the fire with her wings wide open, standing tall and straight with confidence, walking towards me. And the message from her right now is that do not be afraid. Do not be afraid to claim back your power. And we are speaking to the Divine Feminine right now. And even if you are biologically a male, this message is also for you. Because the Divine Feminine is not just about the Divine Feminine. It is the union and the harmony of the feminine and the masculine, both within and without. The divine masculine, the males, the men, need to hear this as well. Because this is how you support the feminine. The feminine will rise on her own. She is powerful like that. But with the divine masculine, she rises further. This is not at all a fight for power, for leadership. This is not at all a fight for power. This is a fight for love. This is a fight for harmony, divine balance. And this is the new age, the new world, the golden age, the light age that we're stepping into. We're currently bouncing between two extremes in everything, and that is life. Duality. And the duality is showing us unity. Just like how when you are looking at a diamond in a shop, the diamond needs to be placed on a backdrop that is dark. Usually it's either black or red. The contrast needs to be there so that the diamond can shine, so that the buyer can see the true light of the diamond. When it is placed on a bright color or white or glass, you can't see it. And so the duality is there, here in our lives for a reason. It's to show us what feels good, where we want to go, where we want to choose to be. And whatever that choice is completely up to an individual. But we are collectively, eventually, going to stabilize in unity consciousness. And this is how we rise. This is the age of light. The divine feminine will lead in this. And again, by leading, it doesn't mean I am right and you are wrong. We love men. We love the divine masculine. And there is nothing more beautiful when we see the divine masculine, the men around us, in their own union, in their own harmony, in their bright, balanced essence. There is nothing more beautiful than that. And believe us when we say, we love you. Directing this to the men watching this right now. We're not here to put you down. We're here to love you so that we can all rise together. The reason why the feminine consciousness is rising faster than the masculine, though the masculine's rate of rising is also picking up. But the feminine is leading because of her connection to the cosmos. She is built to bring spirits into this physical world through her womb. Her womb is a portal between the spirit and the physical. And so within her, she is the portal. And therefore, very innately and intentionally created to be very connected to the other dimensions outside of this physical one. Therefore, she knows, she feels, she's intuitive, she knows. And when she allows herself to follow, to trust in her intuition, she is limitless. And she has so much to give. But society has taken that power away from her and told her that this is not the way to live. She has been suppressed. Very much. Very intentionally. Because it is what it is. This is a cycle of time. After the light is the darkness. And after the darkness is the light. We will always go through this cycle. We are now coming out of the age of the darkness and into the light, which is a very beautiful time to be in. And many, 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 many souls, old souls, ancient souls that have been through the age of light in a previous cycle, the ancient civilizations, so you call, they have chosen to come back to assist in this great ascension towards the light. This is a song for the divine feminine and the divine feminine within all. Haiku, 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 shiterai senai shu. Haiku, haiku, haiku. Arae sheka. Arae sheka. Hare ishutu kwa era ishutu ukwana satakara ishitera isa. Allow her softness to come through you. Shushkuru esera ishera ese kukurua isha isete kraish. Aishera ekua era ishikwa era ishikwa era ishikwa arasata 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 ishete kukua esata shete sasatakara ena ishutuasha. There is a lot around the sacral when we talk about the divine feminine essence, power. There is a lot of trauma, disconnection in the sacral area, especially with the feminine, the females, the ladies, the women. This is not just ancestral, this is collective. So just be aware of what kind of shame, what kind of guilt do you feel, especially as a woman, around this sacral energy that is very connected to your sexual energy. There's no need to rush to liberate this energy because of how powerful it is. It can actually be dangerous. It can very easily be manipulated. That was one of the main messages that came to me when I tapped into this priestess lineage. Goddess Isis has a lot of magic, and this priestesshood that is very, very related to her and the divine feminine. What I feel is so much power in the sacral. her ability to attract, ability to direct. And can you see how this energy can very easily be manipulated if it's not understood? How and why this is coming back to us. Because when this energy is liberated and when we take this power back, this is our powerhouse as a women. It's very natural. When it comes back to you, it's natural that you will start attracting people because of this light that is emanating out of you. This is the difference between the feminine and the masculine. Yes, there is a difference. And the difference is there for a reason. You don't even have to do anything. Even a woman will be attracted to a woman. And by attraction, I don't mean romantically or just sexually, but the pull, the magnetism, that is what I'm talking about. Because of the light. And so if this energy leaks and is used in, not in love, can be very disruptive. That is why it needs to happen slowly. Some last words from Goddess Isis. It is your time. This is the lifetime where, if you so choose to liberate yourself, and not just yourself, you're doing this for your ancestors, and it's not just limited to that. You're doing this for the collective of women, and not just for that, you're doing it for the entire humanity. Because when the feminine rises, it is inevitable that the masculine will. It's just how it is. So the time is coming. We have all been preparing for this. And in the next few videos, we'll follow up on this. I'm feeling some circle activation codes that wants to come through, but that's for another time. Taking a couple of deep breaths to fully receive this energy that is more than words. It's more than what you can understand. You have received the transmission, you have received the energy. The seed of light is being planted. And when it's ready for you, when you're ready, this will unfold. And it will make sense in divine timing. If you would like to be on the wait list for this upcoming Divine Feminine Reactivation trip to the ancient land of Khem, Kemet is the ancient name of Egypt. And Isis told me to use Khem because it resonates energetically more than the word Egypt. So there will be a link in the description box where you can click on that and head to my website and fill in your email so that when I have the details, I know who to send it to specifically. Thank you so much for receiving this. It is also very normal if you feel tired or ungrounded or just a little bit overwhelmed after receiving transmissions like this, because they are very powerful and they, as mentioned, don't just work with the mind, they work with your spirit, they work with your soul, they work with your energy body. So if you're having very intense dreams and nightmares, just know that this is your subconscious mind actually processing all of it. We process a lot of things and integrate a lot of things in our sleep. And so allow yourself to rest as much as possible, drink a lot of water, and if you can, have access to the beach like this, or a forest, or a garden, or a salt bath. Those are all very, very useful things to help ground. So thank you so much, and I'll see you in the next one.